So welcome to Gentle Yoga for All Levels, or as I posted on social media, welcome to a breathing class and a little bit of movement to help us breathe better. Is that all right, Logan? Okay, a little bit of movement to help that breath make its way through our bodies. So everyone just find a comfortable seat, whatever that means. You can elevate your hips higher if you're feeling any strain here. Let's roll our shoulders up, back, and down a few times. See if there's any tightness there or tension. So the studio that I'm in looks a little different this morning. I'm in Kansas, Wamego, Kansas, at this great little gym called Flint Hills Fitness. Like and subscribe. Bring your fingertips down to the floor on either side of you and find the tallest spine you can possibly find. And we're just going to start breathing through the nose. In and out of the nose, steady and smooth. I'd like you to bring your hands to the bottom of your rib cage and just let your fingers feel the bottom ribs, just kind of somewhere in that vicinity. And in your mind, get a picture of lungs. And if you don't know what lungs look like, picture two big bunches of grapes. The lungs are like grapes, tiny little bubbles. And with each inhale, I'd like you to imagine that you're making the grapes bigger. And as you exhale, those grapes are getting smaller. So picture those giant cotton candy grapes. That big, that round, that juicy on the inhale. And then just tiny, brand new little grapes on the exhale. So already here with just this very first action, something magical is happening in our bodies. When air makes it to those grapes at the bottom of the lungs, there's a message to the brain that says all is well. There's no threat. And so the brain starts to send out relaxation hormones. All it takes is breathing into the bottom of our lungs, and our nervous system starts to relax. So let's continue breathing like that with the hands resting on the legs. Just inhale to sit even taller and feel those lungs expanding. And then exhale as they squeeze in a bit. So now I'd like you to imagine this breathing muscle called the diaphragm. And you can take your two hands again, and we're going to make like a mushroom shape or a dome shape with our hands, palms down. And this muscle sits right between the lungs and the heart above and our abdominal digestive system below. So we're going to breathe with this muscle moving up and down. And on the inhale, I want you to press down. It seems counterintuitive. And on the exhale, the hands come up. Inhale, the muscle presses down, the belly goes out. Exhale, the muscle comes up and helps us push breath out of our bodies. That diaphragm moving up and down with breath. Making the grapes bigger and smaller. Good, and then the hands come back to the rib cage. See if you can feel a little more the side body now. We're gonna move breath sideways. So the muscle's gonna contract outward. Inhale to open your body wider. Exhale to gently squeeze in. We call this sideways breath. Inhale, make your rib cage more broad. Beautiful, everybody. Exhale, squeeze in. One more time. Inhale, widen, broaden. Exhale, squeeze in. Okay, last thing I'm going to have you do while we're sitting, one hand on your belly, and the other hand is going to come to the low back. So just let the back of your hand rest somewhere on your back. And now I'd like you to breathe front and back. So imagine pushing the belly out and pushing the back backwards. Inhale. And then exhale, squeeze it all in tight. Inhale to extend front and back. Exhale to squeeze in. So any of these little tricks, it's just sending a message to your brain, all is well. There's plenty of oxygen down here. All right, release your hands. And then just take one deep breath that moves in all of those directions at the same time. Fill up as much as you can. Open mouth, exhale. Good, let's turn around and come on to all fours. And if this floor feels kind of hard to your knees, you can always just grab your mat and make a quick little fold, or you could be on that cushion if that feels good. Just patting up under the knees. So now movement with breath. On the inhale, we come into cow, and I'd like you to just let your belly drop, let the front of your body stretch. You're breathing into the front of your lungs. And on the exhale, slowly round into cat. Feel the back of your lungs. And then inhale cow and exhale cat. So just taking your time, moving in a way that feels gentle, that allows you to move breath into a few places where it doesn't always go. Let's take one more deep breath into cow. And on the exhale, come back to neutral, widen up the knees and send your hips back to child's pose. If this is not comfortable to your knees, you could put your cushion under your hips on top of your heels. And just pause here. Again, deep breaths. So now we'll look at another muscle. The intercostals are the muscles between your ribs. So as you inhale, can you feel each of your ribs stretching away from the others? Just trying to make that rib cage as big as possible with your inhales. If you ever eat ribs, anybody eat ribs? We're in Kansas. You're eating intercostals. You're eating breathing muscles between the ribs. Okay, go ahead and return to a tabletop position. And now you have a choice to stay here on all fours and just continue feeling that breath with movement. Or if you'd like, tuck your toes and lift your hips. Let's go upside down, the downward facing dog. And either way, just create some movement here, pedaling your heels, nod your head, shift your hips around. And then we'll slowly walk our feet to meet our hands. Let's come into a forward fold. And here in forward fold, everybody bend your knees a bit and let your belly just kind of rest down on your thighs. You can keep your hands on the floor, or you can walk your fingers from side to side, or take ragdoll. Just something that feels gentle to your back. Just breathing into those muscles, all directions. And then press the hands to the shins, lift halfway, and slowly sweep the arms all the way up to extended mountain. Let's interlace our fingers here. And And we're going to move from side to side. So press down through the feet and make just small movements side to side. See if you can feel those intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs stretching as you lengthen through that one side. So we inhale in the center, up and over, and then exhale. Inhale to the center. Exhale up and over. Really nice, everybody. One more time, both ways. As we come back to center, let's lower the hands to our side. All right, so we're going to look at another muscle. I want you to imagine that you're putting on a big, wide belt that goes all the way around your body. These used to be called corsets. Today we call them Spanx. Okay, so this big, tight, squeezy belt. And just imagine that as you inhale, that muscle stretches, and as you exhale, it squeezes in. Think of just a belt, right? On the inhale, loosen up your belt. On an exhale, tighten that belt a notch. So move with breath. Inhale to expand. And on the exhale, squeeze in. We're going to sit in a chair. Make your waist smaller. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze in. Tighten up your belt. So all of these muscles helping us exhale, get rid of that old breath so we can bring in a new one. Really nice, everybody. One more time. Inhale, open up the rib cage. On the exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips, come down into a forward fold. We'll press into a half lift. And then let the hands come down, drop one knee and then the other. Press back to child's pose. Shifting forward, come to a kneeling plank. And then just slowly lower your body down to the ground. And we're going to come into Cobra, and pausing right here. So now that we're laying on our belly, it's a little harder to breathe into the belly. So can you breathe into your chest? Think of pressing your chest forward. And feel the way your body rocks up and down. On the exhale, hands pressed by the shoulders, returning to child's pose. Let's take our knees wide. You can stack one fist on top of the other. Let your forehead rest on your hands. If it feels okay, just gently turn your head side to side. Feel a little massage on your forehead. While you continue deep belly breathing. Returning to a tabletop position. Knees come in close. Let's step one foot forward. And then the other. Forward fold. Nice job, everybody. Inhale the arms up. And bring the hands to the heart. So we just did a very slow sun salutation. Let's do that one more time, movement with breath. Arms reach. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back to your knees and child's pose. Good, everyone, come forward, kneeling plank, and then just melt your body down to the floor. Roll the shoulders back. Take one breath into your chest and exhale back, child's pose. Take 3 breaths here into your back. So see if you can feel the back muscles, the back ribs stretching. Typically we breathe through the nose, but it's okay today if you want to let some breath out of your mouth, that's okay. Shifting onto our knees, let's swing one foot forward and then the other, coming into forward fold. Rising high, extended mountain. And bring your hands to your heart. Nice job, everybody. So find that standing again on 2 feet. We're going to open our arms out, giving us a little bit more space for breath, right? So squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting the chin. On the exhale, come back to center, sink back into that chair. Let's do that with breath, opening and closing. More attention now on the chest, the upper back. If you're making an H sound with your breath, the person next to you can hear you and they're going to say, good job, you. Nice breathing. Take one more deep breath in. Open as much as you can into this back bend. Exhale, hands to the side, neutral. Awesome, everyone. Hands from the hips. Let's come down again into our forward fold. Pausing here in a ragdoll, nice, easy, drapey kind of stretch. And we'll step our left foot back, dropping the knee to the mat. If you'd like some padding under your knee, please grab a pillow, a sweatshirt, folded mat. So we're going to be here for a bit in this nice deep hip flexor position. So option to stay on your knee or to tuck the back toes and lift that knee off the ground. Just see which one feels better to your body. And another option is to keep your hands on the ground or press your hands onto the front thigh. You might try both of those and see which one feels better. Lots of ways to do a lunge. Which option gives you the most room for breath? That's really a great question to ask in every yoga pose. Which version allows me to breathe the best, right? All right, so if your knee is up, go ahead and set it back down. Let's bring our left hand to the floor and we're going to create a twist. So the right arm reaches out in front of us, up overhead. We're going to make circles around us. So inhale to reach up, exhale to reach back. And let's imagine that there are some spaces around our shoulders that are folded or rounded, that don't always see a lot of breath. And so we're moving in to send breath there. Let's release the hand to the floor, tucking the back toes. We'll lift our knee and let's step forward again into a forward fold. I'd like you to notice your 2 hips, your 2 legs, and your 2 feet. Does anything feel different? Stepping our right foot back, dropping the knee, finding any padding you like. Good. So as you choose knee or toes, maybe close your eyes and imagine expanding those grapes again and see which version of the pose allows you to breathe more deeply. Hands down, hands up. Where do you feel the most breath in your belly? Can you really exaggerate the volume of breath moving deep in your lungs? Oxygen is medicine. It's life. It's energy. So whether your knee is up or down, go ahead and set the knee down. We'll place the right hand on the ground and begin these arm circles. So trying to make room for breath around the left collarbone, left chest, the left shoulder. Let that movement just put a little smile on your face because it feels so good. One more nice slow circle. And then let the hand come to the inside of the left foot and the left knee comes back. And we're in child's pose one more time. Coming up into tabletop, we'll tuck our toes, lifting into downward facing dog. And on the inhale, right leg comes up high, wiggle your toes, circle your ankle. Good, and then we'll step that foot through. Sometimes I have to grab my ankle and kind of help it out. Let's drop the back heel and we're rising up into warrior one. Beautiful. We've got some gorgeous warriors. This is fun having real humans in the room. Not that you're not real humans on the screen, you are. All right, so opening out into warrior two. So this will be fun. We're going to discover the pelvic diaphragm. Who's excited about that? So just like we have this muscle here, as we inhale, it presses down, and we exhale and it comes up. The muscles of our pelvic floor help with breathing. So as you inhale, I'd like you to lift the muscles underneath you, and that's gonna make you straighten your leg, the palms turn, and the arms lift. So everything is just pulling up off the floor. And then exhale, we relax back down. Good, inhale to lift, pull everything in and up, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Gorgeous, everybody. Exhale, lower. Really reach out through your fingertips, palms up. Good. Let's just turn the palm up and come back into a reverse warrior. Stretching to the ceiling, opening through the right ribs. Good, lots of room for breath there. On the exhale, elbow to knee, left arm comes up and over, making space for breath in the left side of your body. Beautiful. And then we'll circle that arm down, come to a wide straddle, the center of your mat, facing the long edge, and go ahead and just let your head drop down. You can nod your head yes, shake your head no. And in this upside down position, friends, I'd like you to feel all of those breathing directions that we've done since the beginning. So bottom to top, front to back, side to side. Make the grapes bigger. Make the grapes smaller. We're going to turn toward our left foot or the back of the room, back of your mat. Dropping our back heel, we'll rise up to warrior one. Nice. And just really press out through the back, through the outside of your right foot. And we'll open into warrior two. So letting your hips face the side of the room. Beautiful. All right, so finding that pelvic diaphragm, lift up from below, palms turn, legs straighten, arms reach, gorgeous. Exhale back to warrior two. So imagine initiating that movement from the ground and pulling everything in and up all the way to the fingertips. Nice. Holding warrior two. Let's turn the left palm and reverse the warrior. Left fingers for the sky. Hold in and up on that pelvic floor. In yoga, we call that Mula Bandha, root lock. Beautiful. Come up and over, elbow to thigh, right fingertips either straight up to the ceiling or over your ear. Engaging those pelvic floor muscles. Nice job, everybody. Bring that arm around and come again to your wide straddle. Toes turn to the side of your mat, folding forward at the hips. So in this pause, breathing in all directions. One more thing you can play with is as you exhale, feel your belly button coming in and almost tucking up inside of your rib cage. And then we inhale and expand. Exhale, draw the belly button in and up. In yoga, that's called Uddiyana Bandha, a belly lock. Helpful way to move breath out. Lifting halfway. Let's turn toward the top of our mat once again, and we'll stay in this low lunge, dropping our back knee again to the floor. Our hips should be getting nice and loose. Let's explore hamstrings. So go ahead and come back into a straighter front leg, and you can scoot your heel forward a little bit, walk your hands forward. So while most of your attention is probably on a tight muscle, I'd like you to be aware of breathing muscles again. So we have these really cool muscles on the side of our body called serratus anterior. They make those jagged lines when you see people doing pull-ups. I want you to breathe right there. Breathe into the side of your rib cage, just under your armpits. See if that helps you find a little more ease in a hamstring stretch. And we'll come forward again into a lunge. Let's tuck our back toes and move back into that twist, but this time we'll hold. So as the fingers reach up, breathe into that side rib, that space just below the armpit, serratus anterior. See if you can stretch those little jagged muscles. Good, and return the hand to the inside of the foot, dropping both knees. We're just gonna switch legs so the left foot comes forward. Awesome, everybody, stretching back, hamstring. You can scoot your heel, you can walk your hands forward. Breathe here, just below the armpit. Think of a cool, jagged little muscle there on the side of your body. Shifting forward again to find a kneeling lunge. Let's tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and raise the left arm up into a twist. Breathing into that space just below the armpit. Using your breath to stretch even bigger. Beautiful. And release that hand to the floor. Let's bring the back foot to meet the front foot, lifting halfway, and we'll slowly reach the arms up high to extended mountain. Let your hands come to your heart. Good. And then bring your hands onto your hips. So standing back bend, just a standing little arch of the upper back, pressing down on the hips, the glutes, pulling the shoulders back. Take a couple of breaths here. Think of expanding the grapes, pushing your lungs forward. Maybe your chin lifts a little bit. Your chest sticks out. And then return to neutral with hands at heart. So let's do some balance, tree pose. So let's stand on our right foot and let's turn our left knee out. You can stay right here in this little kickstand. You can come to your ankle or your calf. You can bring your foot all the way up wherever you feel stable and comfortable. And trees wobble in the wind, right? All right, I'd like you to imagine, grow branches if you like, stay here, wherever you want your arms to be, but I'd like you to imagine drawing energy up from the ground the way a tree would. It comes up through your leg, pelvic floor, transverse abdominis, all the muscles engage. And we bring that breath all the way up through the crown of the head or fingers. And then just like rain coming down on that tree, imagine plugging into the earth. And we inhale and lift through the torso, through the throat, through the crown. And that rain just comes back down, plugging us into the earth even deeper. One more big breath from roots to sky. And on the exhale, release. Just pause for a moment. Feel solid ground. On the second side, we're going to employ a magical breath called Ujjayi. It's the victorious breath. It's the warrior breath. So to start this breath, let's get our kickstand first. We'll get the base. I'd like you to take the deepest breath in you can and exhale. You're fogging up a mirror. Deep breath in. And make that exact same sound with your lips closed together. As you start to build your tree, you can stay low or move high. You can add branches. I'd like you to see how Ujjayi breath helps a tree pose or balance. Really hear that Darth Vader breath coming up from the earth, and back down. And on your next exhale, release and pause to feel. Feel solid ground, feel breath. Feel ease in your body. Let's take one more breath, arms overhead, and we'll exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Go ahead and step back to downward facing dog. And then we'll just lower our knees. And we'll take the knees wide, coming back into child's pose. So in yoga words, this expansion is called Brahmana. The inhale is expansive. We take up more space. We become a bigger version of ourselves for a moment. We move out into the energy around us. And the word for the contraction is langana, a coming in, a restriction, a squeezing out. So let's come up and do one more round of cat and cow with the idea of expansion, of really growing into a bigger space, and then contraction, really squeezing out. So we inhale this moment today, come right into this space in a big way, and then exhale, squeeze out. Yesterday is gone. Open up to a new day, a new moment. Exhale, leave something behind. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And finding a neutral place, let's go ahead and extend our legs out in front of us. We made it to the ground. Took us a while, didn't it? Let's clear the flesh out from underneath us. We'll take a deep breath, arms up. And on an exhale, come toward your feet. And if your hamstrings are kind of tight, a cushion or a block under your knees might feel really good. And you can just use that to drape over. We're just going to come into a forward fold. You can tuck your chin to your chest. Breathe between your shoulder blades. Feeling the back of your lungs expand into the back of your ribs. All of the breathing muscles in expansion and contraction. And gently bringing ourselves back up to seated. Let's come to easy seat. And if you want to be on a cushion, I kind of like elevating my hips. That feels better to my hips and my back. We're going to come into twist. So let's take the arms out like helicopter blades. This is Polly's favorite. And using those core muscles, rotate to the right. And then set the hands down, one on a knee and one hand behind you. So as we breathe in, our spine gets taller. There's more room for breath. As we breathe out, we squeeze like we're wringing out a cloth to look over the back shoulder. On the inhale, you can unwind just a little bit. And on the exhale, wind it back up. There's a little bit of a release and a squeeze with each breath. As you come back to center, open up those arms again like a helicopter blade, turning to the left, setting the hands down, and then create again just that little kind of flow with breath. On the inhale, we lengthen and soften. Exhale, twist a little more. One more big breath in and out. and bringing ourselves back to center. So right where we started, shoulder rolls. If anything feels different from that very first shrug that we did and we felt some tight muscles, is there a little more room up here now in your body? Let's take a deep breath with arms reaching overhead. Exhale to drop the right arm, reach the left arm up and over. Come back to center. Exhale, left arm. Really exaggerate the breath. One more time, both ways. Just sniff in as much as you can. And over. Good. Lift. And lower. Nicely done, everybody. Go ahead and lower down onto your back. And we'll draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. So the squeeze is just another way to push breath out. So use that action of squeezing your knees in against your low belly and just moving breath out. And then placing the feet on the earth for bridge. So flowing bridge, we're going to inhale, hold, exhale, come back to the ground and pause. So on the inhale, slowly lift the hips, pause at the top, and then slowly lower the body and pause at the bottom. And as you continue this, we're going to come into a kumbhaka, which means a held breath. And we'll do square breathing. So you'll inhale up, imagine drawing a box. You'll hold your breath at the top, and then you'll exhale, drawing down the other side. And you'll hold the exhale as you draw the bottom of your square. So inhale, 4, 3, 2, hold your breath, 4, 3, 2, exhale and lower, 4, 3, 2, and then just hold that breath empty, 4, 3, 2. So friends, continue making a square with your breath, noticing how it feels to hold breath when you're full, and noticing how it feels to sustain emptiness. The next time your hips come to the ground, you can resume normal breathing. Let's take our arms out to the sides in a T. We'll walk our feet a little wider and just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Just finding a normal rate of breathing, big exhales. And the next time the knees fall to the left side, pause and look to your right. Just let the knees just fall over to the left, the head to the right. Notice where there is new space for breath. Slowly come back through the center, switching sides, knees go right, head turns left. Filling up, emptying out. Bring our knees back to center. Let's all find either a block or a cushion. And we'll lift up into bridge, setting our hips down on that cushion or block. So our hips just a little higher than our heart. We'll bring our hands to our belly and just take some deep belly breaths here in this supported bridge. You can stay just like this in this restorative pose, or if you'd like, you can extend your legs up if that feels good to your body. Either way, just letting your hips be a little bit higher than your heart. Belly breath. Go back to that image of expanding the grapes in the bottom of your lungs. You really want to get that oxygen down deep, the very bottom. That's where those little sensors are that signal to the brain that all is well. If you are comfortable, you can stay like this a little longer. When you're ready, you can remove your props and start to come into Savasana. Might take some time to put a bolster under your knees, a pillow under your head, a sweatshirt on, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And as you find the earth beneath you, just feel that steadiness, the support of the ground beneath you, the body parts that are touching the ground. Stira, steady. And then also feeling the sweetness, sukha, the ease here. Continue breathing softly here for a couple of minutes while we make a transition in teachers for a guided meditation. If you need to leave, you're welcome to just drop off as you need to. But otherwise, stick around for April's meditation, and we'll just start that in a couple of minutes.
You may remain surrendered on your back in the most important pose of your practice, final Shavasana. Or if you are needing to reposition, to be more upright, to even move, I invite you to honor that instinct, whatever it may be. Now that we are more open, more full with our prana, our breath, our life force, I would like to share a few words from the Radiant Sutras, verse 32. My hope is that these words will resonate with you to bring your practice to a full completion. And if this is not your preference, for whatever reason, feel free to ignore and just listen to the melody of your own breath. Verse 32 from the Radiant Sutras. Strong or soft, wild or serene, wherever breath flows, there is song. Hear its whisper touching behind the face, singing in the throat, dancing spirals in the sanctuary of your heart. In this practice of listening, a moment may come when you just want to lie down. This is a doorway. Surrender. Fall into the wide open embrace of life. You are the instrument breath is playing. All the meditations you have ever loved are vibrating in this luxurious hum. Continue even in sleep and dreams. This is your school, just you and infinity. The texture of the self is untamed freedom. The texture of the self is untamed freedom. This is your school, just you and infinity. Continuing even in sleep and dreams, are vibrating in this luxurious hum. All the meditations you have ever loved. You are the instrument breath is playing. Fall into the wide open embrace of life. This is a doorway. Surrender. A moment may come when you just want to lie down. In this practice of listening, dancing spirals in the sanctuary of your heart, singing in the throat. Hear its whisper touching behind the face. Wherever breath flows, there is song. Strong or soft, wild or serene. Allow these words to sprout roots within your being through your breath. Feeling the sensations of your breath as it enters and escapes your body. You are the instrument that breath is playing. As you take a few more deep and spacious breaths, allow your awareness to unfold the whole of your body. From the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Your whole body breathing here. for each moment, for each breath. Allow your senses to gently reawaken to your immediate environment. Tuning in to the ambient noises in your space. Begin to feel the temperature of the air against your skin. Integrating your breath, your practice with your environment. Slowly reawaken your extremities by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Start to gently nod your head up and down and swiveling from side to side. And incorporate any other movements that feel good and right in your body. Allowing gentle transition to reorient to the world around you. Stretch, yawn. Take a few more lasting deep breaths. And just hang out in relaxed awareness. And if you are laying on your back, give yourself a nice, deep hug and rolling over to your favorite side, laying in fetal position. And begin to prop yourself up to your seat. And with a deep inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Palms meet. And with your exhale, floating your thumbs down to your heart center. Saying a few words of love, encouragement, and affirmation towards yourself. Taking stock of the work you are putting into living your best experience. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in your meditation practice. And I thank Denise for guiding us through our physical practice. We are so honored to be your guide today. Thank you. And namaste.